Well, I finally managed to get my hands on the Catalyst mask or farming for like an entire day. So let me tell you, if you don't have that mask, how to get that. It could be spoilers here though, because I am using the mask on the build. So let me tell you, because I know people will ask that. Well, you have to get the mask from the final mission of Brooklyn DLC. Now, there is a boss at the end, like a Marauder boss. You take that boss down, you can get this mask from there. Now, it's not guaranteed. It's not really. Like, you could be lucky and get it in your first try, or you can just take an entire day to get the mask like I did. So yeah, get grinding, I guess. Now, once I get the mask, I knew that I have to use three things. One is ongoing directive, the other one's backfire, and the other one is Eclipse Protocol. Now, unfortunately, can't combine all three together, but at least I can do two of them together, which I did. So I added backfire with the ongoing directive, and I am surprised to see the amount of damage it's actually doing. So let me show you, but first, I do need to talk about the modifiers. Now, if you don't want to see the modifiers, you can skip the section. There's timestamps. No need to complain about it in the comment section, but I do need to kind of address the modifiers here. So let's go. Now, as for the modifiers, the hardcore modifier is a global modifier. It's always active. You get more crit chance, like bonus armor, and also reduce skill cooldown. Plus, you also get your ammo refilled and armor kit refilled, and also resets your skill cooldown when you're at tier 5 and all of these attributes. So that's really awesome. But the active modifier that we're using is the target-rich environment. First of all, it has a very short cooldown of 30 seconds. And it gives you a lot of stuff. Like if you need tiers in your attributes, this will help you gain them. Because once you activate this and you get those kills or assists, you will be gaining those scores at a time 2 speed. So you will gain those tiers really quickly with the help of this. And if you get more tier, then, you'll get more benefits from the passive, right? So yeah, this will overall be better. I mean, you could use other ones as well. They have like 60 seconds of cooldown. But yeah, I think the target-rich environment is actually working really well here. Now, as for the passive modifier, it shows one of them is the multitasker, because at tier 5 in all attribute, you will gain more weapon damage, armor, and skills here. Now, it's not going to happen instantly, but you will get there eventually, okay? And it's not going to take much time. If you activate the active modifier and get those kills, you will reach those max tiers fairly easily. Now, the second one, I chose the loaded up, which is 25% of your crit chance value is added up to crit damage when your firearms is at 5 tier, which shouldn't be a problem to reach because we have a very high firearm tier to begin with. So we'll reach there without an issue with like 1 or 2 kills, and you'll get a lot of crit chance and a lot of crit damage with this. Like you're sitting at more than 80% of crit chance, yeah, and crit damage is of course with the backfire is really high anyway. So yeah, it's pretty fun. Now, as for the other one, I chose extra padding here. You could use anything else. I mean, this is more like a flex pod. I chose to get that pressure from Elite because there were some Elite that I was fighting, especially when I was playing the final mission in the Brooklyn DLC. So yeah, I mean, you can change this around and see which one fits you. So that's basically the modifiers. Now, as for the weapons, see, there are many weapons you can actually use. That totally depends on what type of content you're playing. Like in this case, I was using the backfire just to have fun because backfire has the nice synergy with the mask. When you bleed yourself, with just one reload, you will get the stacks of the mask full, which is nice. And you can keep that active once you have the hollow point ammo from ongoing directive, which is a status effect. So you'll pretty much be sitting at max stacks with the Catalyst mask. So backfire was fun, and it was dishing out insane amount of damage, okay? I mean, we're talking about a million crits on the body just by yourself. Now, if you have a group member that is buffing your damage from the new skill, the smart cover to give yourself damage to target out of cover and stuff, you can hit more than 1.3, 1.4, even 1.5 million crits on the body. I was testing with my friend in the shooting range, and it was hilarious to see how much damage backfire was actually dishing out with that help of the smart cover. It was crazy. Now, you can also use something like a rifle, like the 1886 has a very high base damage. With this rifle, you'll be 2-shotting on head and 4 shots on the body, like once you get the hollow point ammo, because of how much damage this rifle already does. I mean, this is my 1-shot body shot rifle, right? I just changed the talent from determined to pressure point here. Now, you can use sadist, but the problem with sadist was I wasn't getting consistent result, because with sadist, the first shot was actually not giving you the highest damage, because sadist only works on bleeding targets. So I prefer sadist on something like an automatic weapon rather than a rifle like this. But you can try it out if you already have have, hollow point ammo and your targets are bleeding, so it should be fine. Now, if you want a weapon that can absolutely destroy, like heroic and also like countdown and also a legendary mission, I would say Iron Lung is your best friend, and also the Pestilence. Don't underestimate the Pestilence. The Pestilence will do crazy amount of damage from its Plague of the Outcast, like the tick damage. I can hit close to 900k tick damage, and my Pestilence is not even fully optimizable in terms of expertise, like 0 expertise here. So if you have expertise, it's going to do more than 1,000,000 tick damage. Pestilence is actually a boss killer, like a legendary boss killer, because you can't just use your hollow point ammo to take down a legendary boss, right? It's not going to happen. No matter what you do, it will not happen. But Pestilence will take care of that because of the tick damage on this build. And as for Iron Lung, it is pretty much a weapon that will give you the hollow point ammo without have to worrying about using a Banshee pulse or any other skill, because it has an inbuilt fire mechanic. When you fire this weapon, it overheats and then burns the target, and that procs the hollow point ammo for you from the ongoing directive. Once you take down the target, you get the ammo fairly easily. So yeah, these are pretty much the weapons I would actually recommend. If you want to use any other weapon, you can use it. Something like Lexington with Sadist talent. Yeah, you can use that. So yeah, you can choose whatever weapon you want. Like I said, it depends on what type of content you're playing. But so far, I was just having fun with the Backfire, playing kind of like a run and gun style in a way. But you can definitely use the other weapons too. Now, as for the build here, you can see this is the build right now. Now, there is actually one change I would do here. Depends on what type of weapon I'm using. So right now I'm using the Backfire, so it's an SMG, so don't need much of crit chance anyway. So that's why I'm actually using the Steelworks backpack here. That gives us 10% of armor kill on the one-piece set bonus. So that's why I'm using this backpack. And I also got crit damage weapon handling here because, again, I don't need that crit chance, so that's not bad. And I got a crit damage mod with a Wicked talent because we are bleeding constantly, so Wicked will be active pretty much all the time. Like, there is no condition to it. It basically activates automatically the moment you trigger the bleed, so it'll stay with you basically forever. But if you want to use other talent, like more damage, for example, Unstoppable Force, if you're playing solo, if you want more survivability, you can use something like a Bloodsucker talent as well. And if you're playing in a group, you could use Vigilance, but like I said, Wicked talent is set and forget, so use that. Now, if you're using any other weapon, something like the LMGs, Iron Lung or Pestilence, I would recommend using something like a Sheshka, so you get that extra crit chance, and with the same talent, of course. So yeah, this is pretty much what I'm going to use when I'm using the LMGs. But if I'm using the Backfire, then I'm using the Steelwork for that extra armor on kill, because we are pretty much very up close to the targets and kind of running gunning, so we get that extra armor on kill, which is nice. Plus, we are using the gunner specialization, so it also gives you 10% armor on kill, so basically 20% armor on kill. Yeah, you will get the heals, no problem there. Now, as for the mask, the Catalyst mask, well, unfortunately, it doesn't come with any crit chance, crit damage as an attribute, but it is what it is. Now, there's actually quite a lengthy description here, but I'll try to kind of brief you on how this mask actually works. So, first of all, you get that talent called Chemical Agent. Now, what it does is basically when you put any enemies in status effect, when you're applying status effect to the enemies, basically, or the enemy is applying status effect to you, or you are applying status effect to yourself, which is how the Backfire is helping here. You gain stacks. You can get up to 12 stacks, and each stacks will give you 2% of weapon damage and 2% of status effect. Means 24% of weapon damage and status effect there, right? Now, how do you gain the stacks? Well, when you're applying status effect on the enemies, you get 1 stack per second, but when you're applying status effect onto you, you get 2 stacks per second. This is how the mask stacks is getting full so quickly because of our Backfire bleed, because we are applying status effect onto us, so that means we're gaining 2 stacks per second, so we're getting the stacks really quickly for bleeding us from the Backfire. Now, you will lose stacks as well when you do not apply any status effect to anyone, whether it's yourself or enemies, but that only happens after 5 seconds of it. But you don't have to worry about it because you're never going to see this most of the time, because either you're bleeding yourself or you're dishing out damage from the hollow point ammo, which is also a bleed. So yeah, this is not going to be an issue there. Now, once you're at max stacks, which again, you will be most of the time sitting at max stacks, killing a target with status effect, you're going to gain 25% of bonus armor and 20% of reload speed every 5 seconds. So yeah, you'll be getting bonus armor and reload speed there, so that's not bad. And also, when you're burning, you can just aim down sight and fire your weapon. So that's basically what the mask does. Quite a lot of stuff here, right? Now, as for the 4-piece ongoing directive, like, I mean, you already know what ongoing directive does, but if you're a new player, let me give you a little brief. You do get a status effect for 2-piece, which is nice. So the more status effect you have, the longer duration of your bleed and burn, if you're using, let's say, the Iron Lung, will last, so which is nice. You also get 30% reload speed, so you'll reload your weapons quicker. And 4-piece, you'll give you the rule of engagement talent, which is doing all of this, like the hollow point ammo and stuff like that. So when you apply status effect on enemies, you'll get a marker on them, like a red marker. You can easily see that red marker. Everyone can see that red marker. So when you take that enemy down, you're going to get hollow point ammo, and your group will also get half of it, like hollow point ammo. So it'll buff their damage as well. Now, you get 20% of amplified damage from 4-piece of it, but since we're using the chest piece, we're going to get 50% of amplified damage. You always need to use the chest piece of ongoing directive because of that extra damage. So keep that in mind. Now, I have weapon damage, crit damage as my mod here for the chest piece. For the holster, I got weapon damage, crit damage. For the gloves, I have weapon damage, crit damage. And for the knee pads, I got armor and crit chance. Now, I could just go with weapon damage here, but I'm using that blue core armor for that, extra stamina tier from the beginning, like basically one extra tier. So that's pretty much the reason why I'm using that. So that's the 4-piece of ongoing directive there. Now, as for my skills, I am using a Banshee Pulse here since I'm using Gunner Specialization. Now, Banshee Pulse will also help you gain the hollow point ammo because it's a status effect. But the good thing about this Pulse in this build is that we have so much status effect on the build already that it will last a bit longer than usual. So the enemies will stay confused for quite a while, actually, not gonna lie. So yeah, this really helps, and it is pretty much has saved my life and my friend's life many times, because when you get surrounded, you just hit the Banshee Pulse, everybody gets confused, you can just get yourself out of the way or just absolutely melt them because of the damage the build has. So yeah, that's really handy there. Now I'm going to use a shield because I am using an SMG and it's more like a run-in gun, but if you're using the LMGs, like I mentioned, the Pestilence or like the Iron Lung, then you obviously don't need the shield, and that time we're going to be using our smart cover. You can use the precision smart cover for the damage to target out of cover that you get from it, or you can use the other one, the fortified one, especially if you're doing legendary content, to give yourself bonus armor and also explosive resistance. So that will be good as well. I mean, it works for your group, so you could help them out like that too if you want to. Now, if I show you my stats on this build, you can see I'm a 63% crit chance here, which is usually 60% is the cap, but we can go higher than that, right? This will go up to like 80% when the talent and everything is active. I mean, the modifiers. So yeah, you can get up to 80% crit chance with this build, which is kind of hilarious. And also the crit damage will go really, really high because of backfire, giving you 200% crit damage. But if you're using the LMGs, of course, this will be different. So yeah, keep that in mind. So yeah, it's actually a very solid build. I mean, like I said, the weapon matters, depends on what type of content you're playing. I was just having fun with the backfire, so I'm using that. But honestly, if you really want to seriously play with this, I would recommend something like the Iron Lung and the Pestilence. That will dish out really a good amount of damage. And Ongoing Directive is a very underrated build, and I think more people should use this. It is a really solid build, especially in a group as well, because you are helping people's damage as well with that hollow point ammo. So if you haven't tried it out already, you should do that. I was thinking that this was kind of fun to kind of use it, especially with the backfire. I know there's bleed and stuff, a lot of people don't like that red screen and all that, but with the mask it was kind of having a synergy, so I thought let's just use it for the fun. So it's working, so that's what I wanted to show you. And the damage is really, really high, like seriously, with the backfire. So give it a go, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, peace.